Welcome back to another episode of Your Divine Glow podcast. We are in season 2, y'all. I am Ashley Conyers. I am founder of Divine Glow Coaching, and I'm a mindset coach who helps individuals to align with their God-given purpose and to live a purpose-driven life. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, hit that notification bell, and leave a comment if you like. And also, please don't forget to follow us on Apple Podcasts as well as Spotify. So, without further ado, we do have a guest in the building, and before I introduce him or he introduces himself, let us just bask in this moment of just being in the podcast studio, y'all. This is something that I've been praying for. This is something that I have envisioned for a very long time, and so it is finally happening. It's finally here, and I'm just so grateful to God that it has finally been answered, the prayer. So. Listen, we had this special guest on for season 1. He was on the 8th episode, and we went into his music. We went into just his purpose, his calling, his faith. We spoke a lot about spirituality, religion, and just everything God, as well as just what it took for him to get to where he's at. So, without further ado, I would like to introduce Kase to the space.
Yeah, what's going on? What's going on?
Thank you.
First I want to say congrats to you. This is major. I know how hard you worked for it and wanted it.
Yes.
So,
thank you.
here we are in your manifestation. Congrats.
Yes,
Big
thank you.
congrats.
Thank you. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Listen, we've both grown over the past year. And, we're going to get to all the goodies. But before we dive in, please let the people know a little bit about you. And if they haven't, come across you.
Mm-hmm. Well, my name is Kase. I'm an entrepreneur, an artist, just someone who's purposeful,
Yes.
Yeah.
Purposeful, okay.
I don't got to say too much.
No, you don't.
We'll figure it out.
And that's what we're all about, living a purpose-driven life and doing what God is calling us to do. So tell me about what you've been up to lately since season 1. I mean, I think it's literally been a year on the dot, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but...
I feel like longer than that.
Maybe, but what you been up to?
Sheesh, all right. All right. I made a movie of my life, which you saw.
Yes.
I had to send it to you.
Yes. We loved it.
We did. I had the Golden Child experience, which is part movie, part live band, like live performance. So I also performed with a live band. Mm-hmm. Yes. What else did I do? I did that again, performed with them again, had my rehearsals.
Yes.
But other than, I also, we did a lot of stuff. You got my brain thinking.
That's good.
The Thanksgiving drive, you were there.
Yes.
Thank you
That
again.
was really, and I must say, you, just everything with your music has evolved. Even the way that you show up for the community has evolved. And it's like, I wonder what keeps you inspired through it all, because I know it's like, it may feel like back to back to back. So maybe you don't have time to really bask in it, or sometimes, like as creatives, we do get stuck, right?
Yeah.
So like, what keeps you inspired and motivated in those moments?
Honestly, I was just thinking about this. I'm like, I feel like a part of me lost my why. You know what I mean? But in reality, my why evolved. I think what keeps me motivated is the why, and the why is, it used to be like, oh, it's for my family and friends, but it's not only for them, it's for the world too.
Yeah.
Because God has showed me in a million ways, like the kids love you, the adults love you, and the people your age love you.
Absolutely.
So that's a gift in itself. So I think my why evolved, but that's what keeps me, I don't even like the word motivated as much. It's like, that's just what keeps me going in general. That's what keeps me purposeful.
Yeah. I when you sent me your it's a movie. It's a movie. I want to say documentary movie, because it's like,
it's both.
But you say this, I'm going to be respectful and say it's a movie because that's what you call it, right?
Okay, yeah.
So your movie, when I watched it, I was like, wow, like just to see your impact in your intimate group, right? And then to have it spread, it's like the amount of dialogue that people have said about you, and like to see your growth and be right there with you, it's impactful. I mean, if I were you, I would have been bawling. Like, that's what y'all think about me? Like, that's what y'all see? Because sometimes for me, I, I don't know about you, but I try to look outside of myself and be like, what do people see? Like, because we have our own narrative about like us and like our day to day. We live in this vessel, right?
Yeah.
So, but like, what are really people seeing? How do we touch people and inspire people? And I wonder if with this movie, did you have any intention of how like expect how big it would be for you or the people around you that were actually in the movie, like giving their, I guess, testimony, so to speak?
It didn't shock me, but it was eye opening. The reason it didn't shock me is because that's always been my intent. Anyone who knows me, if you're around me, I got your back. I got you for life. It is what it is. Like once I love you or you're a part of my, my group, that was my intent. So the fact that everybody got something from me, I'm like, oh, so you weren't listening. Oh, you did get that. It was more of a confirmation than a shock. But I realized about myself that I'm very intentional.
Yeah.
And that when you're intentional, that's what people are gonna get out of it for the most part.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Well, I'm gonna say the people that care about you.
Yeah.
And the people that know you. Because they're not gonna misjudge me or misconstrue my words or anything crazy like that. They're gonna be like, we know Kase, this is who he is, this is his intention, and this is what we got out of it. So, but it was a humbling thing to hear.
Yeah.
Especially your parents saying great things about you and just the people who you would ride for and go to bat for have nothing but high praise for you.
Yeah.
But they also said some things in there too, which I, you know what I mean? Look, I gotta,
rightfully so.
Yeah, rightfully so.
Yeah.
But that's how you know that they're my people. You know what I mean? They just keeping it 100, being honest. But I enjoyed it. I really did. It was eye-opening.
What was the what made it this time, like the right time to do the movie right now? Why not like, I don't know, 5 years later or down the line?
Well, also back to my motivation or what keeps me going.
Yeah.
The man upstairs, obviously, you know? So there's times, this whole thing doesn't happen if I don't listen to God in general, you know? So he's the thing that keeps me going and gives me the ideas. So I think personally and spiritually, I was changing on the inside. And I think the documentary and that moment in time, the Golden Child experience, was to say, I feel like in my gut, bye to my old life.
Yeah.
Bye to everything that you created. And the fact that I can make almost a 3-hour documentary out of the last 5-6 years, I didn't sit on my butt for these past years.
You working.
Yeah, but
working.
The thing that kept me going was God. When he said get up, I get up.
Right.
I'm very obedient to God, and I don't think people understand that, but that becomes draining after a while. It becomes overbearing because it feels like, well, I can't just be normal. You know what I mean?
But that's the thing, though. It's like...
But I don't want to.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
You don't want to.
But it comes with its hardships, is what I want people to know, is that it's not all butterflies and bubble gum.
Absolutely
like, nah,
not.
it's rough. Like, I be by myself in the trenches, figuring it out. You don't know what the outcome is going to be, you know?
Yeah, and he's going to call us to do things we don't want to do. Like, you know, to be very transparent, I did not want a podcast.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing in me that screamed podcast. And then at that point in time, I was like, oh, I have to use my voice? Like, because I always wanted to be in the back. I was, hey, I'm behind the scenes, girl. Like, yo, I got you in the... Okay. But no, God was like, I'm going to need you out here in the front. It's your time. You know, in the back, yes, I'm preparing and doing the thing, but and learning as a student because we're all students of life.
Yep.
But once it's your time, once you called, it's like, all right, you're up. Time to get to work.
So, yeah, he told me one day, well, you know, it starts even back from the name Golden Child.
Yeah.
He just gave it to me. Yeah. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm going to make a project with this name then. And I'm going to use it as my, you know, my alias, like Kase, Golden Child, whatever the case.
That's period. But that's still one of my favorites. Like, literally, I cannot, from front to back, like, that project is so dope.
Thank you.
So dope. But with that being said, just the point of sacrifice. I know we talked about this in last episode too. It's like, you know, when we are obedient to what he's calling us to do, it's like, yeah, we can't do certain things. We can't be around certain people. We have to be different from society. And a lot of, I think, in just the society now, you could see a big shift in Christianity. Like, I was just having a conversation with someone, and just it being an aesthetic now was just like,
Yeah.
like I want the real raw Christianity. I don't want the sugarcoat to this is fair, like you said, roses and fairy tale of Christianity.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to being chosen, when it comes to really being different, like you're gonna be given some conflicts and some blowbacks and all those things. And but you make it look easy. I ain't gonna lie. We see the outcome of what you put in, right? So can you tell me about a moment where it did get really rough for you and you like were really even questioning, like, well, is this worth it?
I would say the whole 2024.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, just even the process of putting the movie together. Like the person that was my right hand man, JP. He's moved out the state. You know what I mean? Everybody on my team moved out the state in 2023 or 2022. So I was completely by myself. And the overhead on doing a big production, like I had a projector. I had a team, a staff of over almost 15 people. We had 14 people, including me. I'll be 15, but 15-person staff. The venue itself, you got to pay for mics, SD cards, the band, everything. So the overhead was killing me, and I'm like, God, when are you gonna give me breathing room? You know what I mean? It's like every time I save up or get enough, you got to work. You got to work, invest in yourself. So that was like, is this even worth it anymore? You know what I mean? I'm making big strides, but it ain't the strides that I want. My ego.
Yeah.
But in the spiritual world, they probably clapping it up. Like you're making huge strides.
Yes.
Like look at how you're healing yourself and others. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But I will say it's always worth it.
Yeah.
It's always worth it. But I would say the whole year I've been challenged. I've been grieving my old self, my friends, my old life.
Yeah.
It's been a long process, and I feel like today I'm starting to get over it and move forward. Yeah. But even the Golden Child experience was healing. So many people were crying. I have moments where you're watching my story, you're hearing me live talk about my relationship with my parents, my friends, and my heartbreaks, everything.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's missing in society. So I can see what God wants me to do and who I'm going to be. I can see it very clear. Yeah. But the steps to get there, well, it's draining a little bit. It is. Yeah. So I just try to stay gracious, and I just try to stay in my gratitude, and every day put a brick down. Yeah. You know what I mean? Every day put a brick down.
Yeah. It's hard to see your old life just that's all you knew, you know? Even when the people that, you thought you were very close with, and not to say that it's like no love lost, you know what I mean? But it's just different now.
Yeah. Even everybody having babies. Getting married. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Yes.
You know what I mean? You start looking at yourself like, I'm doing something wrong.
Absolutely not.
I'm still on this journey. You know what I mean? But it's going to be worth it at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And we all have our own moments. But I'm just like, what a year. Christmas was different for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Thanksgiving was different for me.
Yeah.
I didn't even spend it in Jersey. Like, the whole year was uncomfortable, different. And I realized, hey, you're a full adult, buddy. You know what I mean? Like, you're
welcome
done,
here,
buddy.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, they be like the adulthood is the worst hood, but listen.
Not that I haven't been an adult, but this was the most isolated I felt. I felt like, you gotta make your own family, buddy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
it's time, bro.
It's real, and I think a lot of us don't really talk about how that transition is. We kind of just pop up on it. It's like, all right, well, this is just going to happen naturally. Yeah. But we don't talk about how deep the loss of it is. And, I thank you for being vulnerable about that, because not a lot of people would.
Yeah. But I feel like it was 10 times heavier when God is in your ear too.
Yeah.
Make sure you do this. Make sure you prepare. Make sure you do this. Make sure you rest. Make sure you go. You know what I mean? Like, you still have obligations. Like the Thanksgiving drive, that's our 5th year in a row doing it. Like, I could not miss it. Yeah. Even though I had somewhere to be. I took a flight right after, right?
You was not playing. You was like, this gonna happen. We gonna rush to the airport.
Yeah. Even when I was just in Colombia too. We, me and my business partner, we gave everybody they were kindergarten, pre-K class. We told them to write something they wanted down, and we bought all of them gifts for Christmas. But that's something we do every year as well. You know what I mean? To invest in the future, normally it's special needs kids, but I'm like, you know what? There's kids who also want something too, you know? Like,
absolutely.
Any type of kid wants something, you know what I mean? So let's not, let's try to move around, see how we can help. But even that was different. I wasn't in Jersey for that. You know what I mean? So, boy, what a year. What a year.
But you are going to be the best Kase that you can be this year. Like 2025 Kase, I'm excited for that.
I feel it.
I'm excited for that.
I feel it. I appreciate that. I received that.
Yeah, listen. All of 2024 was you being preparation. I've been studying myself, and I break it down to the 3 P's: preparation, pruning, and promise. And yes, he prepares you for that pruning season in order to let things go, cut the branches off, and all of the things. And then after all that pruning that he does and refinement, he then gives you the promise. So you know what the promise is. So you already man, that's why you could say it's going to be worth it. Yeah. That's why you can sit there and be like, you know what? I know this sucks right now. I don't want to, do this. This is going against my ego, my flesh, and all the things. But you know what? I'm going to be obedient and still stay the course because I know what's on the other side. So,
I didn't look at it like I was still being obedient the whole time. I didn't look at it that way, but that's true. Yeah. Even in the midst of feeling like I'm pulled in so many different directions, I was still walking that path.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I appreciate that, yeah.
I don't think you ever, as long as I've known you and, we've talked, it never seems like you get so discouraged, though. Of course, I'm not with you 24/7, but you are to me, I envision you as the type of person that, of course you have hardships, but you just all right, we gonna get to it regardless. And I guess because, and I know your mom, but listen, when you got a praying mother.
That's true. That's very true.
It just hits different. So is that where you get your strength from as well, is your mom?
Oh, yeah, you know that, of course. But I'm also rooting myself every day, or try to do it every day. I'm still human, but I try to journal, meditate, read, do some type of exercise every day, get in the studio every day. Literally live the life you want to live. And I'm already living it. It's just not to the magnitude that I wanted, but literally I've manifested it. I'm here. I'm literally here.
How would you describe in one word your relationship with God right now?
Dang, that was...
It's okay.
Let me see. The first word that came to my mind was uneasy.
Would you like to elaborate on that?
I think I'm afraid of my own greatness.
That's real.
Yeah.
What makes you afraid of it, even though you've seen it?
Because it's bigger than what I could imagine. And that's what the grief has been 2024, is you start to become that kid who was raised by a single mom. It's like it's not even here anymore, but I still feel what that kid felt. I still remember what he thought. So my whole life, which is the movie, I had to relive all of that too. You know what I mean? I remember who broke my heart, who heart I broke. I remember all of that.
Yeah.
But again, up until now, I didn't know how to be present in a lot of these moments. So it's just all hitting me at once because I have to let all of it go.
Yeah.
So that's why my relationship with God is uneasy, because it's like, I'm afraid to even talk to you sometimes because I didn't get over this yet. You know what I mean? This is still on my brain. You know what I mean? And I know what you have for me is so great. And he gives me signs every day. Literally, last week somebody called me, a few days ago, some girl hit me on Snapchat. And it was a few videos. It was 6 videos. I'm like, what's this about?
Wow.
She like, you're famous! Oh my God! I'm like, what? She's like, I'm with some dude right now, and I'm humming a song. We in a car, and I look at the screen, and it say your name, and I'm like, I know him. She's like, how you know him? He like, I don't. I just like the song.
Oh wow.
And she's like, you're lying. He like, I don't know. What's it? Kase? I don't know his name. I don't know him personally.
Yeah.
And she's like, yo, that's crazy. So the whole Snapchat is, you're famous. Oh my God. What I learned being on this journey too is God gonna send you the nuggets. He's gonna let you know.
Absolutely.
He's gonna speak through other people.
Yeah.
So I have such a peace about it, but I also know internally during the transition space, it feels like a part of you is being ripped apart. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I have to let this version of me go. It doesn't work anymore, unfortunately.
It's. I'm trying to, as you're talking, I'm thinking about my transition out of that old life into my new life. And I remember just having a stronghold on people. It was never things or places, but people. And I was, these are people that I call family, best friends, or whatever. And I would say whatever, but it was very significant to me because I always, and growing up as an only child, like I don't have siblings, so my cousins were my siblings, and then I have like my friends where I'm like, okay, like we gonna be best friends forever. But like, as you get older and your interests change, like back then like most of us, I was smoking, drinking, partying, having all the sex in the world, and I thought I was having the best time of my life. I mean, I was in retrospect, but
the ego was
right. The ego,
soul, spirit wasn't.
My flesh was child, but spiritually, I was dying. And when I had to kill my flesh, because that's ultimately what it is. When I had to kill my flesh and just feed my spirit. Yeah, it was very uncomfortable. And I remember those nights where I cried. I was very anxious. I was like, wait, hold up. Like, this is what I have to do. But that's all we know. And so once we really detach from the familiar and the comfortability of it all, it's like, oh my God, who am I now? We feel lost. We feel like, oh my gosh, I don't know how to operate now. And no, He's going to guide you and lead you into that.
100%.
And I always remember just like feeling scared. But once you let that go and surrender, that's the biggest thing. Like we could talk all day about surrender, but like surrendering has been not easy, of course, but it has been baby steps of surrendering. I think when we talk about surrender, sometimes it's like this one and done type of situation, but it's not. Like every day that I wake up and like you wake up, we have to surrender. We have to repent. We have to do the thing that is hard to do. And I believe that a lot of people just are comfortable where they're at. And so they don't want to challenge themselves because they deem it too hard because, it's too hard to be a child of God. Well, yeah, but, I believe that the same power that, was in Jesus, He raised up from the dead, is within us. Like, we are more powerful than we think. So I believe that, when it comes to this journey, we are our own worst enemy.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
well, it's really, the whole thing is a spiritual battle.
Yeah.
It's a spiritual war with all of us consciously and unconsciously, but there's also a spiritual war on the inside, consciously and unconsciously.
Yeah.
So a lot of what you're describing is flesh or ego versus spirit or soul. Literally, that's what it is. So that's the push and pull every day. Yeah. So your soul knows what's good for you, what you need to do, how you need to do it, and what the promise is and the end goal. But that ego wants to pull you back. It wants to keep you in human form.
Absolutely.
So I get what you're saying completely.
How do you feed your spirit now on a daily basis? Like I know you said journaling, meditating, but outside of that, is there anything else that you've changed in the last year? Because that's something that I know. I always known you to meditate. Because you be like, you can meditate anywhere.
you should be able to.
Yeah,
you should be able to meditate in the middle of Times Square and be completely zoned out.
Yeah.
You should. That's hard, but you should.
Yeah.
What am I doing differently? Nothing, because I feel like once you find your routine, I think that's the cheat code to all of it. Like even me feeling uneasy, it'll snap away. Like today, I did my routine. The last 3-4 days, I'm on my routine. I feel good. I feel much better. You know what I mean?
You're committed.
Yeah. I know where I'm going, where I'm headed, and that hasn't changed since the beginning. The problem is it goes like this.
Yes.
And then you get tested, and then you gotta tell somebody, "I'm done with you." Let go, whatever the case may be. But
I only asked too because I've noticed too in my journey, I have to do less of, or be mindful, right, of just who I'm listening to.
Oh, I don't listen to nobody anyways.
You know what?
Because it don't, like, what, if I wouldn't trade places with you, or if God is not speaking through you, you just saying your opinion. It doesn't matter.
Well, I meant in the sense of like even learning from people. Let's say you come across a podcast or YouTube, right? Like you have to be very mindful of, or even just social media. You scrolling, you know, like who is feeding your spirit and who's feeding your flesh. Like I had to do a whole unfollowing.
Oh, so you're saying like what you consume?
Yes, pretty much.
Yes, what you consume, you become. Nah, I've been did all of that years ago. No shade room, no none of that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like no whatever. I don't even know what's out there anymore.
Is it consistent for you though? Because like for me, I do it. I check in on at least maybe like quarters. Like I'm like, all right, is it something that I picked up that I could put down and like, because I feel like again, it's not a one and done thing on this journey. So I've always wondered if it's like that for other people where you just go back and you're like, okay, I got a clean house.
It's been pretty consistent.
Okay.
I'm like the tunnel vision king. Like I don't.
Yeah.
Once I'm done with that chapter, I'm on to the next chapter. You know what I mean? Like I don't really revert back often, which you can see in the manifestations or in the work. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't. You could tell I don't go back.
Yeah.
But that's a part of being hard headed. Like I'm hard headed in a good way too.
Yeah. No.
You know what I mean?
That's actually. I mean, that's what I would love for all of us to do. But in reality, you know, sometimes we backpedal. You know.
Yeah. But you can't be on earth if your flesh is no good too. You know what I mean? Like you have to still enjoy what's here. You know what I mean? You can't be too. So it's every day for me. It's a balancing act.
I guess that I struggle with that then.
With balancing.
A little bit, because I'm afraid to go back to who I was or where I was. You know, and not to say that, like I try my best to have fun, but then I sometimes notice that I'm like too deep into my spirit. I don't know if that's even
into your flesh. You mean?
No, my spirit.
Oh, okay.
Like I don't, and maybe I'm saying this, I'm gonna say wrong, but I want to have fun, but I want to have like righteous fun. You know, like
no, that makes sense. So right now you just gotta attract the people who are on your frequency or who want the same things.
Yeah.
But you can still do it. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
you're still young too. You gotta still live life just in a more righteous way, of course. You don't gotta be outside. You know what I mean? I'm not outside. You know what I mean? Like literally my birthday party was the only time I went out the whole year.
Yeah, I was like, you know what? I really thought about that too, in a sense, because I was like, well, is it, and not even just your birthday, but just spaces like that, where do I want to drink as much anymore? Like, do I want to? Because I always love to dance. Like, throw music on, I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna dance. But do I want to be around the hookah? Do I want to be around like that anymore? Does it fulfill me? And honestly, when I am invited to those type of places, I feel like a tug to get out of those places. I'm like, yo, I'm bored. Like, I feel like I've done that so much and been in that atmosphere, and it's just like it doesn't entertain me anymore. It doesn't fulfill me. And what actually fulfills me is going to worship night on Fridays. Like I could,
or like a good conversation.
Like my 2024 has really been building up my community as well, and having more Christ-like relationships and grounded in God, and having more of a intimate relationship with God. I was just speaking on just starting co-hosting Bible study and being more in the church and finding more church friends, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I love that I could go to church and just have friends and be surrounded by people that, we could read the Bible together and we could throw scriptures out. We can study it. Like it just feels so different and so fulfilling. And I back to what I was saying before is that like I try so hard just to keep that close, because I know if I go back, it is going to shatter me. Last year, I had an incident where I was fasting, and I did, I like had my had stitches on my lip. I bit through my lip, whole nine, and it reminded me. I'm like, why? Well, first of all, backstory. I was doing something I wasn't supposed to be doing on a fast, but so I was just like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It made me look at life a lot differently, and I could have ended up way worse than just that. You don't even see it though, but I could have had a concussion, my head, something, whatever.
Yeah.
But it was a wake up call. I've had several wake up calls like, hey, you need to go down this path. And I cling, like I said, I cling so hard to the things I have now because I'm just afraid. And so when I am in this like righteous, and I'm like, no, I'm going to stay home. We good. But it's just like, I know I have to live life too. So it's hard. It's like a tug and pull. And I know my flesh, like, my flesh is my flesh.
But look, you got to listen to your body, listen to your intuition.
Yeah.
Your soul and your gut is going to know, I ain't going there. I could go there for 30 minutes, an hour. You know what I mean? I could make it over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a balancing act. You have to balance it out, or else you'll always feel the push and pull. Yeah. Like even me, like I didn't go out the whole year, and by September, I'm like, I need some friends, bro. Like, I need to go do something. You know what I mean?
That makes sense.
Yeah. So my mom always does tell me, like, you need to be still earthly good at the same time, like with your flesh. Like, you can't just be
earthly good. I like that.
Yeah. You can't just be out here like. Yeah. And Jesus said you need to chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's good to do that, but there's also a balance. It's a balance. Yeah. Like, we come from an era where there was no balance. You know what I mean? Especially my mom's era, where it's like, we praying all day. We doing back-to-back services. We on fellowship here. It was a lot. Yeah. There was no balance. So the scales are balancing themselves out. Like you said, the Christian walk is evolving. Yeah. Because we were too much on that side to begin with.
Yeah.
So take that with yourself. You know what I mean? Like, trust your intuition, trust your body, and be gracious to yourself. Like, that's one thing I didn't tell you on how I stay the course. Is like, I'm nice to myself. I learned to speak life into myself, even if I'm not physically saying it in my head. I'm like, you good, you all right. Just do it better tomorrow. Just do it better now. You know what I mean? Like, you good. I try not to beat down on myself.
Yeah. You sure you don't want to be a therapist? I mean, add that to the resume.
Nah, you're right.
No, or motivational speaker.
I've done that before.
I can see that.
I got to do it more. So thank you for saying that. That's going to be on my list for this year.
Because you need to. I mean, you are on stages, but in a different capacity. Yeah. You know, I could see you doing more speaking engagements for sure.
No, 100%. So. Do you see this on my face? All the dots?
A little bit, yeah.
No, you can see it.
I see the big one, but like
the black ones.
Yeah.
It goes from my mind to my mouth.
Oh.
Do you get that?
Yes.
Yeah, it's God telling me something. That's how you're gonna make your money, buddy.
That's true. That's true.
So yeah, and I have one on my mouth too. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah. That's dope.
But those are the signs that I be paying attention. I'm so like deep into it that I just see things. In a weird way.
It's not even weird because I don't think about that on my body. I think about it more externally. So I think I've talked about this before. Like, I'll look at different signs of like animals and like colors and numbers and all these things. Oh, yeah. But on my body, no. I've never thought about doing that, even though like just the other, I don't know. I have a mole that just appeared on my middle finger over here, and I'm just like, what does that mean?
Nah, facts. It'll come to you. You could even set your intention, like, God, reveal what this means.
Yeah, of course.
It'll come.
Yeah. I don't think that deep to be like body parts. Like, what you doing?
That's why I stay by myself, though. I'm too deep into this. You know what I mean? Like, my life revolves around God, purpose, helping other people, and being the best version of myself. That is literally me in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy we connected, and we stayed connected because I feel like that's exactly where I'm at. I just need to step more into that, you know, and I am. It's just like, you know, when God reveals more and more, obviously that's when you go into it. But
I want to say too, also just learn to simplify things, which you already know. But and is it fear or because if it's fear, then it's not of God.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He doesn't
You know
give
what I mean?
that spirit.
Yeah.
No.
So if you afraid, even of me, of my own greatness, where's that coming from? Who planted that? Why is that there?
Oof. Yeah. I mean,
that just gave me chills all over here because it's like that's not me. That's what God is telling me. That ain't me.
That is not. It's even before we hit record on this episode, I was just I said, oh, I'm nervous, but thanks to you and the people here at the studio, shout out to Bravery Studios, I really had to quickly rethink of that. I'm like, hold on. Yeah. I know I'm not really like afraid, but even before I came here, I feel like those thoughts were coming to me because everything in me was like, I need to do this. But of course, the enemy going to drop the little, like, oh, nah, you're not ready for that, or like nobody wants to listen to what you have to say. Absolutely not. Like, even if one person listens to this episode, that's all I need. Yeah, that's all I need. Yeah. So it's like, I want to encourage other people to just use their voice, because you use your voice all the time. I don't. For me, I'm starting to get more comfortable in it, and sometimes people are like, oh, you seem very comfortable using it. I'm like, sometimes,
I never got the vibe that you was uncomfortable talking.
Listen, it's what they say, fake it till you make it. Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it.
I don't know. It's like sometimes I am. It depends on who I'm with as well. But at the end of the day, I do pray before every episode. I pray before I even have to speak, because I like I said, I'm a vessel. So I ask God, it's like, what do you want me to say? What needs to get out to your people? Because if it was up to me, I'd be sitting here twiddling my thumbs.
Do you pray that it touches the people it needs to?
Absolutely.
Well? Okay, yeah. So you're doing great.
Absolutely. Listen, like, all of this is nothing but God.
I feel like you bring such a different part of me out. Like, I would not be saying none of this on nobody else. I say some of it, but we going like, you know what I mean? But it's cool.
Oh,
okay.
What? Not the children.
Yeah, okay. Look, I don't care.
You funny. But I appreciate that. Listen, different people are going to bring out different sides of you, and I just love that you're always, no matter what, still authentic. And since the very beginning, it's like, you're more than just your music, bro. Like, people want to he's a music artist and apply pressure. Yeah, that's cool. But like, that's the surface level case, right?
But this is what God is telling me. What you're saying is literally what God is telling me for 2025. Like, people need more of you, period, point blank.
Yeah.
How do you expect to get anywhere and you in the house like this? You know what I mean? That's why it's been so transformative.
Yes.
Not to cut you off too,
no,
my apologies.
You didn't.
But that's why it's been so transformative, because I know it's time to get outside.
Yeah.
Because once you get outside, they going to attract you. You've always been an attractive person, like, energetically.
Right.
So it's like, you got to stay on that. But I've reached the cap here. You know what I mean? Like, clearly, it's only, you have to break through the glass is the next step. And that's why I'm like, do I have to? I got to go outside? What you mean I got to perform there? Nah, it's time. People need you. People need the God in you. Put it that way.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I have to wake up and be more selfless. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is what I'm doing in life is a selfless act. Like, I can't wait for you to hear this project I'm working on too.
Can we know when it's gonna drop, or is it not ready to be
It's
told?
basically ready, but I have to plan ahead. I definitely do. But
gotcha.
It's a lot more transformative. Like, this is like the best music I've ever made, the deepest, and my perspective changed. Like, I can't wait for you to hear it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm excited. Just send me the file. I will definitely wait till you drop it, because that's rude. I respect artists, projects. So.
Maybe I should do like a listening party. I might do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I might do a listening party.
Have you ever done a listening party?
Yeah, I did one.
Oh.
We invited like 15 people to the studio, or like 20.
Oh, okay.
Exclusive. It's like, we all in here, we got drinks, you know what I mean? We're going to watch some new music videos that's not out, and we're going to listen to the album. That's what we did.
That would be dope.
Yeah. So I'm going to probably do that. You're right. Thank you. See, I'm getting a lot out of this. Hold on. Where's the part two?
This is like part 3.
Yeah,
That
for
was
real.
part 3. But what would you say is one word to describe your purpose today?
One word to describe my purpose. All I'm hearing is God. That's it.
Okay.
He gave me the purpose, and I'm just seeing it through. I don't feel like, what is the point of me even being here if I'm not making the best of my time on this planet? You know what I mean? Or on Earth, or in this realm, or however y'all want to say it. But
Yeah.
I just feel like I have to be the best version of myself. I got to see this thing through.
Yeah.
I'm not the type of person to start something and just drop it.
Yeah.
And of course, those thoughts get in your head, like you're getting older. Somebody just asked me if I was 17 last week. I'm like, what?
It's the glow.
It's the glow. It's
the glow.
something. But I would just say God, because God gave me the purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm always shocked when people actually say that we're younger than what we look like, or are, I should say, in actual age. But that's kind of why I guess he gave me the name Divine Glow, because it's a healing that, or a transformation that you can't buy.
Yep.
It's God given, and every time I see Divine Glow or say it, or it is something that I know is just from the healing that we've done, and spending time with him and being in his presence. Like, that's where we get it from.
Yeah.
A lot of us, we go towards the opposite, and then we look all old and crusty.
Yeah.
Sorry, but but no, it's just the opposite. I mean, he's going to definitely.
But you know what you just described? As above, so below.
Oh yeah.
So
Absolutely.
We're reflections of what's on the inside at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the inside is spirit, the outside is obviously physical, flesh.
Yeah.
So as above, so below. Yeah, we know. But
without further ado, this has been a great conversation. I know we could go forever. But before we go and wrap up, I still have the segment, shine a light on them.
Hey.
And I'm going to give you the space to show a person or people just who you're appreciative for, who you're grateful for in this season.
That's so funny. In this season, I don't know. That's a good. Who am I? What's the question? Who am I?
Who are you grateful for?
Who am I grateful for?
We want to show appreciation to.
Myself.
Okay, that's fair.
I want to appreciate myself for seeing it through. That might sound egotistical, but I was beat up this year, so I don't care.
Listen, it's not bad to be proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Shout out. Sometimes you have to go in the mirror and be like, shout out to me.
Yeah. I just feel like I haven't been the most poured into. Like when you are the person that pours into everybody like, he good. He gonna figure it out. And I'm like, nah, I need to be poured into as well. So let me pour into myself right now.
Yeah.
That's the person I want to give kudos to. Yeah. That's the person I want to say, I'm proud of you too. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm going to say me.
We're proud of you, Kase.
And of course, God.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
But I feel like that was the Golden Child experience. Give everybody their flowers. Like, I'm thankful for everyone. I brought my mom on stage, my dad on stage, all the single moms I grew up around. I told them, I spoke to them, called them out.
Yeah.
My grandparents were there. Everybody was there who saw me since I was a kid, or like recently. My college friends were there.
Yeah.
So I feel like I gave everybody their flowers, and I showed everybody who I was and what I've been working on. But I think 2025 is for me.
Yeah.
It's time to be selfish, not in a egotistical way, but in a positive way. Yeah. It's time to sacrifice all the way. You know
Boundaries.
what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. So.
For sure. And can we get more live performances with the band?
Yes, of course. That's definitely going to happen this year.
Because that was a vibe, okay?
I wish you went to the other one.
I know. But
it's all good.
There's going to be more, and I'm definitely, like, when I tell you I think live bands, period, are just, it's just so authentic. It's so real, and not even just you as the main artist, but just the musicians, period. Like, I always say this. I love the drums. I think second to the drums is like acoustic guitar and an electric guitar.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you.
Like, so good. And just to hear your vocals on top of that, I just remember when I went to your performance in, remind me.
It was like August.
Yes. Well, whatever.
Right? Look, right? It was like the end of August, but I forget where it was. Jersey City? No.
It wasn't Jersey City, but I think it was like Rutherford or something. But nonetheless, you just, your presence and just controlling the crowd. I probably told you the same thing that night. I was just like, bro, like, you got it. Like, in that crowd, it was like, it was different, but it was just like, I just envisioned like thousands of people in the room, even though it wasn't thousands of people, but it's like you performed like it was. Yeah. You gave it your all 100%. Like it was. And I was like, bro, like, what? This is, and that's why I started off saying in the beginning of the interview, like, I wonder how people see us. Like, you know, because if I'm looking at you on stage, like, have you ever wondered, like, what you look like on stage?
100,000,000%.
I mean, you're watching, of course, the videos being played back.
It don't do no justice. It's still not live, you know what I mean?
It's not. So I'm just like, yo, like, if only he could see what we see, you know?
I feel like today was such a moment in time for me. Like, I've been feeling that. I've been struggling flipping the camera around from my eyes to this. You know what I mean? Like, how do I don't even know how I perceive myself. I don't even know because I never thought to perceive myself. You know what I mean? Like, I just know to be myself, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Have you spent time in the mirror?
Yes, recently I have. That's crazy.
Okay, so...
Like staring in it, smiling, talking to yourself. Yeah, that's another form of affirmation, right?
Yes. I actually, recently, when I look in the mirror every morning because obviously I'm washing my face, doing my stuff, but I've taken more intentional time to look into my eyes. Like, I'm looking at my face, I'm brushing my teeth, but like, actually looking into my eyes, because obviously they say like the eyes are the window to the soul. And so one thing I've noticed about my eyes, I'm like, oh, they really like a light brown. Like, oh, they really glowing inside. Oh, and like, and the way that my bathroom is set up, I have a window so the sun, you know, shines through. So when I'm looking, I can see, I'm like, wow, so this is what people, and I get close too. I'm not like, all right, nah, we getting,
I'm in it.
We getting close. And I think, I mean, it may sound weird to people, but like, that's just how I kind of connect with myself, because it is different when I'm just constantly looking out at people. I'm not looking at myself. And that's been, I don't know, in a weird way, just been helping me trying to understand like the type of soul that I have and who I am to the core. I can't really elaborate.
I completely understand what you're saying. I think that's probably a part of your routine or becoming.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming.
Yeah, that's going to reset you every time. I think everybody just needs to figure out what does it for them. Mine is sitting my butt down and breathing.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm a Capricorn, so I'm an earth sign. So, like, literally sitting on the earth does wonders for me. Being in the sun does wonders for me. So that has to be a part of my routine. And I also learned, like, even some water, living water, like moving water would be good, too. What's your sign?
See, I have drifted off from signs. While I was in that space, I just also found out that it wasn't part of God's plan. So, but you know, if you had to ask me, I was classified as a Libra.
I love the media trading, bro.
I'm just saying that's just my life now. You know, until this day, I have it tatted on me, you know, and it's funny because I was just saying this for the longest time. And I was like, yo, when I get this covered up, it's going to hurt because it's back here, but So it's something that I'm like trying to just stray away from, because that's part of my divination days when I was in the oracle, the tarot, the blah, 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 blah. And God was like, nah, this ain't me. And so, I mean, I respect where you are. that's how you identify yourself?
No, no, no. I'm not like deep into it.
Yeah.
But I realized, because I studied like every religion for a little bit, and I realized that everybody's, in my opinion, everybody's right. They just saying that they right more than anybody else. You know what I mean? Like, what was revealed to me is that it's all a piece of the puzzle. If you combine what this religion saying, what these people are saying, what they're saying, and use your intuition and your gut, you can see the picture very clear. God is everything.
Yeah. It's but I was saying this to a friend the other day too, was that you know, obviously with the different just divisions of
Denomination.
Yes, thank you, because I knew I was gonna butcher that word
like
up.
Dominoes.
Yeah, but no, like the different just everything is just division, and it's like, no, we believe in Jesus, we believe in God, Yahweh, Abba, like it's just God at the end of the day. And that's why I go to non-denominational churches, because at the end of the day, I just want God. I just want Jesus. Like I don't want to just be identified as Baptist or apostolic or, because why am I now
Apostolic?
Yeah, that's how that's what I grew up in, an apostolic.
That's how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Apostolic.
Apostolic faith. Apostolic.
It's not apolistic?
No, Kase.
I never heard of apostolic.
It's apostolic.
No, I gotta do my research.
It's
on
okay.
That one. It is bad denominations though.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah,
it is crazy. My
dad is a minister, so he is he's been going to that church his whole life.
Yeah.
So yeah, apostolic faith was growing up. That's how it was growing up for me.
What's the main difference? I think I was Baptist. What's the difference?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. I wasn't even in that church too long. I think around my teenage years, like pre-teen, early teens, my mom, because the church is in Philly. So traveling from here to Philly was like, and then the parking was crazy. So my mom was like, yeah, we're not going to keep going every Sunday. And so, yeah, I remember as a child, I would just be asleep. I would just be, I'm a kid, I'm not really as interested in the word. And then when your parents are like, they take you to church, but one of the important things is like, tell your child while you're there, or like, just disciple them a little bit better.
Don't just let them show up and go home and show.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I wish I could have an answer to that, but I don't.
But okay, so you just want God at the end of the day. I'm the same way. I'm the same way, but I'm super like open to, just understanding. Yeah. Understanding what is going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think we are on the right track, I must say.
Yes.
And I think we're both going to evolve just within the next month or two, I'm sure. Like, God is always working. So I am going to wrap this up. It's been such a pleasure, just as usual, chopping it up with you. And if you guys want to check him out, please let the people know where they can find you.
Kase.com. You'll find everything there. That's my website, you know what I'm saying? So, new merch dropping soon. That's an announcement. New music dropping soon. This is a high output year. So y'all get ready.
Yes. So one thing I want you guys to take away from this episode is to take one bold step into your purpose, and don't be afraid. Just like Joshua, be strong and courageous. Okay. I want you to do one thing today that is going to make such a difference in your life. Whether it's going to be a bite-sized step, a baby small step, but it's going to change everything for you in just one day, 1 week. Do that thing that you're afraid to do, because it's going to make such a difference. So we will catch you in the next episode, y'all. We have more special guests, and we have many more solo episodes coming your way. But until next time, let your divine glow shine, babies. Check y'all next time.